This video will show you the steps I took to create this walk-in shower. I started this process by first framing out the original shower location down to 4x4. After I went ahead and framed out the walls, I went back with 2x8 and cut them and put them around the perimeter of the bottom of the stud cavity. This is going to be to catch the PVC membrane that's going to go in here to assist with the waterproofing of the shower. After I completed that, I went around and put blocking back in the wall. Now this blocking doesn't really serve the purpose of a fire break anymore, but I just did it to keep the studs from moving around on the wall. And here I'm drilling the holes that are going to accept the concrete screws that are going to attach the 1x8s to the CBS block wall. Now that the shower framing is complete, it's time to go ahead and rough in the plumbing. I went ahead and attached my valve body to support that I put in the wall, and then went ahead and also added a second fitting that's going to accept the shower wand. So this PEX and these PEX fittings, they use these little crimps, and this is what you use to secure the PEX pipe to the fittings. Now, if you're real experienced and you're able just to do this easily without any type of reference line or guide, that's awesome. But if I didn't put a line going around here, my base would be all uneven, so I went ahead and marked a line all the way around the shower. So now that I have my lines marked out around the shower, it's time to go ahead and put in the pre-slope. Pre-slope's pretty easy. You just mix up the mud to kind of a dry consistency, or a damp consistency where it kind of sticks together like wet sand, and then you just lay it down and form it into shape. I ended up just using a trowel and my level to shape this. I was just shaping the pre-slope off of the top of the drain. So at this point in time, my drain is screwed all the way in. It's adjustable. It can screw in and out. So I screwed it all the way in, and then I used it as my reference point to do my pre-slope. And then once I was done with this, I raised it to the level I needed it to be at. This is a pretty easy process. You just keep moving the dry pack around until you get it to the slope you want. Now this slope is just to make sure that any water that gets through the tile or ends up in your tile base migrates towards the drain once it hits the PVC liner. And here I just use this cheap level to make sure everything is has a slope to it, and smooth everything out with a trowel. So the next step is, once that dries, is to go in and install your PVC liner. It is important you don't poke any holes in it. I did get a little overzealous with the silicone around the drain, and I had to go back and wipe off the excess. But it's pretty simple. So if you haven't done this before, there's a lot of good videos on YouTube on how to put these PVC liners in. There are a lot of professionals out there that could show you exactly how to do this step by step. So once I did get the liner in, I went ahead and water tested it and made sure there was no leaks. So now I'm putting in a second layer of dry pack. This goes on top of the PVC membrane. As you can see here, I put some gravel around the drain. This is going to make sure that the weep holes in the drain don't get clogged with the dry pack. So now that my floor pan is complete, I went ahead and put up my Durarock. Some people like putting this down all the way to the PVC liner and then going ahead and mudding up to it. The only problem I have with that is if water ever gets underneath the tile, it's going to hit that concrete board and it's going to move up the concrete board. Well, once it does that, it's going to make the studs moist and they're going to have rot problems. So I just went ahead and mitigated that. And you can actually see I put down a line of red guard before I went ahead and put the Durarock up, and that's just to make sure that there's a separation. So after you get the Durarock up, you have to go back and tape it. Now I'm using this mesh tape. It's designed to be used with concrete. So here I just go and I tape all the seams. I go back and mix up some tile mortar and just go back and hit all my seams. I decided I was going to use red guard to waterproof the walls in the shower. So here I went ahead and put a few coats of red guard on, made sure everything was sealed up. Now it's just time for it to dry. So I didn't get it on video, but I did go ahead and put in the floor tile, and then after I had the floor tile in, it was time for the wall tile. So I have these wedges, and you just use these to go underneath the tile, and it'll help you even out the tile. So now that my mud's all made up, just had a few minutes to set, go ahead and put it on the wall. So now that I have my first tile in place, I'm going to go ahead and use these wedges to bring it up to level. now that the shower's all tiled, it's time to go ahead and grout. The grout I chose was a waterproof, it's like a swimming pool grout. It uses glass beads. The only problem is it is a pain to put on, and if you don't work really fast or work in small sections, it will dry on the tile. So now I'm just using some construction adhesive to go ahead and glue down this piece of granite that I purchased. I just had to cut the granite down to size. I think it's going to make a nice finished look. I ended up getting this diamond drill bit, worked pretty good, drilled right through the tile, and it gave me a nice hole where I could just screw the bracket that holds the shower wand right to a stud. So I ended up ordering this shower door off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description if you would like to purchase this exact door, or if you're looking for one that's similar that's for a different size opening. And here I'm just finishing up the shower, putting a flexible caulking, grout caulking in the corners of the shower so they're not prone to cracking and leaking in the future. And there you go, there's a finished shower. Pretty happy with it, everything turned out pretty well. You know, was a little time consuming, but in the end I think it's worth it. I'll leave a link in the description to all the tools and all the materials that I used, and thanks for watching.